Io, the world of fire. Io is a world of relentless violence. Orbiting Jupiter, it's pulled and crushed by the planet's immense gravity until its insides melt. That heat bursts upward in constant fury, a world covered in volcanoes, lava flows, and sulfur lakes. More than 400 volcanoes rage here, some throwing molten sulfur hundreds of miles into the black sky. The plumes rise higher than Mount Everest stacked 10 times. If you stood here, the ground would tremble beneath your feet. Every step would crunch across glassy sulfur frost, shimmering under the reflected light of Jupiter. The air would choke you in seconds, thick with sulfur dioxide, bitter and poisonous. The sky above would glow faintly orange, lit by fire and ash, illuminated by Jupiter's reflection. You'd hear deep rumbles echo through the ground as lava fountains erupted in the distance, their heat radiating through the thin air like a furnace. The air would shimmer, the ground would pulse, every sound would feel alive, as if the moon itself were breathing in molten rage. And yet, Io is dazzling. Yellow plains, black ash, red scars. It looks like a painting set ablaze. It's a place where creation and destruction happen in the same heartbeat. Here, mountains rise from cooling lava, only to collapse again into rivers of fire. Every eruption reshapes the land. Every storm of ash writes a new story across the sky. But this beauty is lethal. There's no air to breathe, no safe ground to walk, no moment without violence. Io burns unendingly, a moon that lives and dies in fire. Europa, the hidden ocean. Europa looks serene, like a frozen pearl orbiting Jupiter, but beneath its crust of cracked ice lies an ocean larger than all of Earth's combined. The surface is etched with deep lines, tectonic scars from shifting ice plates. Every groan beneath your boots would echo through miles of frozen silence. The sunlight here glints faintly, scattering across endless white plains that stretch farther than any horizon you've ever seen. If you fell through one of those cracks, you'd plunge into a black abyss. Water colder than liquid nitrogen would engulf you instantly. Your suit would crystallize. Every motion would slow to nothing. In seconds, you'd vanish into the abyssal dark. Yet, in that silence, warmth seeps upward from vents on the seafloor. Minerals swirl and mix, energy flows, and somewhere in that darkness, alien life might drift. Tiny organisms, feeding on chemical heat, evolving without light. It's a world where sunlight never shines, but heat and chemistry create their own spark. If you could swim there, you might see glowing bacteria clustering near vents, or icy stalactites growing downward like frozen teeth. Europa may be the closest thing to another cradle of life we've ever found. It hides what Earth reveals, a thriving world beneath deathly stillness. It's a promise that life does not need sunlight, only energy, water, and time. If we ever pierce that ice, we may find something extraordinary, perhaps something that challenges the very idea of what it means to be alive. Ganymede, the giant moon. Ganymede is vast, larger than Mercury, bigger than any other moon. If it orbited the sun, it would be called a planet. It has a magnetic field strong enough to shape its own miniature auroras. Standing here, you'd see ribbons of green and violet light dancing silently across the horizon. The sky glows with faint color, even though there's no air to carry sound, but there's no safety in its beauty. Ganymede's thin atmosphere offers no shelter. The vacuum would drain the air from your lungs. Your blood would boil before you could scream. Beneath your feet, the ground stretches into plains of water, ice, and dark rock, frozen harder than steel. Shadows stretch forever because sunlight barely glances across its surface. Every crater glows faintly blue from frozen minerals trapped beneath. Deep below, scientists believe another ocean hides, an enormous sea trapped under miles of frozen crust. It could be as deep as 100 kilometers, warmed by the moon's inner heat. Ganymede is a paradox, alive with invisible forces, yet still as death. It's a place too large to ignore, too unforgiving to survive. Here, even silence feels heavy. The light flickers, the horizon shimmers, and Jupiter looms, a reminder that even giants are trapped in orbits they can never escape. Enceladus, the cryovolcano world. At first glance, Enceladus looks small and harmless, just a white marble drifting around Saturn. But near its south pole, immense cracks roar with life. They erupt in plumes of ice and vapor, spraying into space at hundreds of miles per hour. The jets form Saturn's E-ring, a halo built from frozen breath. If you stood on that surface, the ground would quake beneath you. You'd hear a deep rumble before a geyser tore open nearby. Jets of icy mist would erupt skyward, glowing in reflected sunlight. The spray would flash freeze your visor in an instant. You'd feel your skin lock solid before you could even react. The horizon would sparkle as light passed through the drifting crystals, creating rainbows that lasted only seconds. The cold would burn like fire, searing every nerve before silence claimed you. Those plumes tell a story of heat. Beneath the crust, scientists believe an ocean churns, perhaps home to microbes warmed by hydrothermal vents. Inside, chemistry stirs. Salt, carbon, and energy swirl in darkness, creating a recipe for life. Enceladus is both tomb and beacon, a frozen corpse that whispers of life within. Its geysers are messages flung into space, inviting us to listen, to explore, to wonder if we are truly alone. Titan, the moon, with lakes of methane. Titan feels strangely familiar, a world that almost makes sense. It has rivers, lakes, rain, and clouds, but everything here is poison. The rivers run with liquid methane. The rain burns colder than any storm on Earth. The air is thick, orange, heavy with haze. Titan is the only moon with a dense atmosphere, a smothering shroud that dims the sun into a tiny, distant ember. You could walk on Titan, shielded from the cold, but your first breath would be your last. The temperature is nearly 300 degrees below zero. Ice here is as hard as granite. Rocks are made of frozen water. When methane rain falls, it carves valleys and lakes that mirror Earth's landscapes in eerie perfection. You'd see dunes stretching for miles, sculpted by winds so slow they seem eternal. Each droplet that falls here moves sluggishly, its surface tension alien, its touch deadly. Titan is a reflection of home, twisted by chemistry. It has dunes, shorelines, but no life. Standing here, you'd see Saturn looming in the amber sky, its rings slicing the heavens like glass, a world so familiar and yet so impossibly alien. Its Earth's shadow, beautiful, cold, and unbreathable. Titan shows us what our planet might have been if carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen had never found balance. A world almost alive, but not quite. Triton, the backwards moon. Triton is Neptune's captive, a world that orbits backward, pulled from the Kuiper Belt long ago. Its surface is a frozen desert of nitrogen and methane ice, colored pink by cosmic radiation. The cold here defies comprehension, minus 391 degrees Fahrenheit, only a few degrees above absolute zero. Here, atoms move slower than thought. If you walked across its plains, your every step would crunch like shattered glass. Beneath your feet, geysers of nitrogen burst upward, spraying black plumes miles high. The sunlight is faint and blue, casting Neptune's shadow across the sky, a gas giant dominating your horizon. You'd see frost glittering in that weak light, the horizon curving away in silence. The quiet is so deep, it feels alive, humming in the bones of the ice. The air is too thin to breathe, the cold too deep to fight. If your suit cracked, you wouldn't have time to feel pain. Your body would freeze so instantly that it would shatter. And yet, even here, there is motion, winds, geysers, faint whispers of heat. Triton drifts through the edge of the solar system, frozen but not dead. It's a world trapped in slow motion, where every second feels like an eternity, a place so far from the sun that time itself seems to sleep. Earth the strange. Every moon tells a story of extremes. Some burn, some drown, some freeze in silence, or crumble under pressure. But together, they reveal something deeper. The universe is not empty. It's alive with endless variation. Io burns itself alive every day. Europa hides oceans of potential life. Ganymede guards a magnetic heart. Enceladus breathes water into the void. Titan imitates Earth in poisonous disguise. And Triton, at the edge of all sunlight, refuses to be still. Each one shows how fragile we are, and how miraculous it is that our small blue world can sustain warmth, oceans, and life. Amid all this chaos, Earth is the strangest of all, the only place that doesn't try to kill us, the only world that feels like home, the only speck in the void where fire, water, air, and life coexist in harmony. We look to the moons and see danger, but we should also see wonder, because every violent, frozen, alien world reminds us that life itself is the rarest phenomenon in the universe, and that makes our world the soft blue cradle of everything we know, the most miraculous place of all. Subscribe for more explorations.